We have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta. This is your Week 9 2024 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also hit the like button. Let's start off with the home team, the Atlanta Falcons. It's been a very up and down season this season for the Atlanta Falcons, but they're starting to get into their groove. Last week, they defeated their division rival, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 31-26. Kirk Cousins was phenomenal on the day. 23 of 29, 276 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns. In this game against the Dallas Cowboys, you have to run the football. The Dallas Cowboys have struggled to stop the run every single week, it seems like, except for against the Steelers. And when you look at the run game that the Falcons have, they have two very good running backs, Tyler Allgeier, Bijan Robinson. Tyler Allgeier last week had 33 rushing yards. He averaged 3 yards a carry. But Bijan Robinson, 63 rushing yards, he averaged 5 yards a carry. This should be the Bijan Robinson game. Michael Parsons is questionable, but you still run the football and run it down the middle with Bijan Robinson. You try to force him to go out there and stack the box, and then you can take a lot of deep shots down the field to Darnell Mooney, to Kyle Pitts, and to Drake London as well. The biggest key besides running the football in this game is going to be able to keep Kirk Cousins upright because, like I mentioned before, Michael Parsons is questionable for this game. And the Dallas Cowboys, they have a lot of fast linebackers. They were able to blitz Brock Purdy a lot last week. Brock Purdy is a faster quarterback than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, at this stage of his career, he's a sitting duck. So you have to get the football out of his hands as quick as possible. When I look at the defense of the Dallas Cowboys, they've let up a lot of big plays this season to fast wide receivers. And we saw this last week. A physical wide receiver and a fast wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, gave him a lot of problems. Well, you have a guy in Drake London, has good speed and is very physical. Get him the football, especially off of play action bootlegs, and do a lot of misdirection plays against this defense of the Dallas Cowboys as well. When I look at the Atlanta Falcons, they've been very inconsistent this season with their passing, but they're going to have to go out there and eventually pass their way through this game. Hand the football off to Bijan Robinson and Tyler Allgeier. Force Mike Zimmer to make those adjustments, who is the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, and then you can work into play action to Kyle Pitts, to Drake London, and do a lot of crossing routes with Darnell Mooney as well, and be on lookout for Ray McCloud in this game. You don't want Kirk Cousins to go back there and throw the football over 35 times in this game because they will start to blitz, and Kirk Cousins doesn't have the speed to get outside the pocket that he once had. He's never been one of the fastest quarterbacks in the NFL, but at least in the past, he was able to avoid certain rushers. At this stage, the offensive line, they have to go out there, fully protect. If Michael Parsons is able to play, you double team him, dump the football down to Kyle Pitts as well. But this has a key matchup in this game, and I'm talking about Trayvon Diggs and Drake London. Be on the lookout for that matchup. When I look at the defense for the Atlanta Falcons, they're in some trouble here because they cannot stop the run their own right. The Dallas Cowboys have been able to consistently stick with the run. Last week, Rico did miss the game due to illness, but they will do some end-around plays with CeeDee Lamb. The linebacking play has to be better in this game for the Atlanta Falcons, and they have to find a way to pressure Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has been struggling this season in terms of taking care of the football, but you have to get that pass rush on Dak Prescott. I would say blitz in this game. And part of the reason why I would blitz in this game is because you have two elite safeties. You have Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons as well. Now, Justin Simmons is questionable for this game, but he's expected to play. Those two safeties can cover everything else that's deep. And I do believe that A.J. Terrell can do a solid job on CeeDee Lamb. You just want to take away CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson and make everyone else around them beat you. And if they do, you can make adjustments if you are Raheem Morris. But go out there, put that pressure on Dak Prescott. So far, the Atlanta Falcons have struggled to stop the run, and they have struggled to put pressure on the opposing quarterback. This has to be a key game for Matthew Judon and the rest of the pass rushers as well. I'm talking about David Onyemata and Zach Harrison and Grady Jarrett. Go out there and stop the run, or at least contain the run, and put that pressure on Dak Prescott. Force him to make those mistakes, because if you do, you can be in a very good situation. You can bleed the clock and use time possession as your friend, especially with those running backs that they have with Tyler Allgeier and with Bijan Robinson. But I'm going to be on key lookout to be watching CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Terrell and Jesse Bates over the top with Justin Simmons. So far, the defense this season has been a bit underwhelming with the Atlanta Falcons. Now, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. This team is coming off a very ugly loss against the San Francisco 49ers. And yes, they were able to go out there and put up big time points, but that was towards the end of the game. They lost this game 24-30. Dak Prescott on the day, 25 of 38, 243 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He got sacked twice. And this game against the Atlanta Falcons, you have to be consistent with the run game, and you have to run the football. Rico is questionable due to illness. Like I mentioned before, he missed last week's game. You have Ezekiel Elliott, who is not the same player that he once was. He's a slower running back coming out of the backfield, even from last season with the New England Patriots. And you have Dalvin Cook as well. You have to get a semblance of a run game going in this game, because if you don't, you're not going to win this football game. It's going to be easy pickings for the Atlanta Falcons. They are a team that wants you to be one-dimensional. And if you are a one-dimensional team that loves to pass the football, this is going to be a horrible situation for the Dallas Cowboys. But it's a lot of upside for the Cowboys in this game. Look at what Baker Mayfield was able to do a couple weeks ago. I'm not talking about last week. He went out there and he had a day. He put up 30 points on this defense. You have to find a way to get CeeDee Lamb the football early in the game. CeeDee Lamb was able to get involved, but it was late in the game. And the same with Jake Ferguson. Get these guys involved earlier in the game plan. Feed your playmakers and feed them in the run game as well. Do a lot of motion attacks with KaVontae Turpin. Go out there and use him on crossing routes. And also get some deep shots going down the field with Jalen Tolbert as well. Open up the offense. Mike McCarthy is the biggest key of victory in this game. To go out there and call better plays and use motion patterns to open up the run game as well. The Atlanta Falcons have not done a good job against stopping the run this season. This should be the games where the Dallas Cowboys can play complementary football against the Falcons and make Dak Prescott's life easier. And I'm going to say this about Dak Prescott as well. You can't throw 2 interceptions in this game. He had 2 interceptions against the Steelers. He's been too inconsistent this season. Find a way to cut off certain levels of the field and let Dak Prescott work in that situation. Find ways to get CeeDee Lamb involved, stack him behind a wide receiver, put him more so inside the slot as well, and move him around. But you have to find a way to cut back on the turnovers and to run the football in this game. When I look at the defense for the Dallas Cowboys, you have to stop the run. They're going to need Micah Parsons to play in this game. Like I mentioned, he's questionable. They need him. Trayvon Diggs has to show more effort in this game as well, because over the last couple of weeks, even in the beginning point of the season, they struggled to stop the run. It's gotten worse every single week since then. You have to stop the run. Besides against the Steelers, their defense has not had a good day on the ground. Eric Kendricks has to step up in this game. He was their leading tackler last week. Damon Clark as well. I'm looking at him. Overshown at the linebacking spot. These guys have to go out there, set the tone, put the pressure on Kirk Cousins, stop the run game, and be more aggressive on the back end as well. And stop missing tackles in open space. And I'm looking at for the Cowboys to go out there and to really put a complete body on Kyle Pitts. It may be Eric Kendricks, but this is a man that's starting to eat up. He's starting to heat up over the last couple of weeks. If you do not put a complete body on Kyle Pitts, like a safety or a linebacker that's very good in coverage, he can beat you over the top. And he did it last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did it a couple weeks ago against the Carolina Panthers as well. You have to be on lookout for these key weapons, for Darnell Mooney as well. And I'm looking at Trayvon Diggs to go out there and to put a lot of pressure on Drake London. But this is the bad thing for the Dallas Cowboys. They have so many weapons with Ray McCloud, Darnell Mooney, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier. That's up to 6 guys right there. The Dallas Cowboys defense has to step up in this game. Run the same game plan that you had against the Steelers in the rushing attack, but at the same time, be on lookout for these wide receivers, because Kirk Cousins, he can let it fly. You have to knock him off his spot in this game. And Jordan Lewis will be a key factor as well, and the same with Donovan Wilson. With that being said, this is a very intriguing matchup because the Atlanta Falcons, they are a very inconsistent team. Just a couple of weeks ago, they lost in blowout fashion to the Seattle Seahawks because Kirk Cousins had those interceptions. And we've seen Dak Prescott go out there and have big-time moments like how he had against the Steelers, but it hasn't been consistent. Considering the fact that the Falcons are at home and the Dallas Cowboys are having a tough time stopping the run and certain motion patterns and crossing routes, I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboy fans, but I believe that the Atlanta Falcons will walk out with this win, and I think that they will win this game 30-23. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game, the Atlanta Falcons or the Dallas Cowboys? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. God bless. Peace.